Perfect.
And we're filming.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, hey.
Chris, how are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Welcome.
Thank you. So I was thinking maybe you could start with what are you doing in life right now?
That is a great question. I guess the question is really what am I not doing in life? But honestly, I guess the way I always put it is I've got my hands in a few honey pots, so to speak, and I'm always doing a million things at once because if I was only doing one thing, I think I would feel incredibly bored.
So we can't talk about all the million things, but
Yes.
how many buckets do you think you can categorize them into in general?
Maybe 5 or 6 different large buckets, but
Okay.
I think they all have an overarching theme where I
Okay.
have one sole passion for, I guess, going out there, finding pain points, solving problems, and whether that takes the form of something like a Lego related thing, or something that's a startup, or something that's like an M&A deal, or executive producing, all of that is kind of feeding back into an original passion point that I have.
So could you tell us a little bit more about what those 5 things are? Also, do you think we should move the camera slightly towards you?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, great. I think it's good. So could you tell me about the 5 things that you're working on currently?
Absolutely, happy to. Well, for my main job, I'm a program manager at Microsoft, and I work under the Cloud and AI team, which means that we work on a lot of projects like Copilot and Azure, and we basically oversee a lot of projects that Microsoft builds out. And that's kind of my day job, but obviously there's a lot more hours in the day than just, well, the day. So I guess in the non-daylight hours, I work on a lot of other stuff. One of the things I do for fun that really is just like a passion point for me, I don't see it as a job, and I think the moment I start seeing it as a job, it's going to lose its luster. But that's Lego. It's my YouTube channel, DuckBricks. I have been a Lego collector and avid fan for all my life, and the most exciting thing to me about Lego is seeing kids get excited about creativity and physical building, and adults reconnect with their inner child, just like we did last night with the Lego building
2
session with
a.m.
friends until 2 a.m. That's right. And get the chance to actually kind of just build creatively and have fun. And that's something super important to me. So I love Lego. That's something I do for fun. We've been doing a video every single day since, well, I think since October 2020. So it has been a lot longer than it feels. I think almost coming up on 4 years now. But that's another thing.
This is the Lego Master, by the way, and there's a Lego set that he designed that is displayed on the flagship store in New York City on 5th Avenue. And I think he got stopped like 7 times during the entire 30 minutes we were there.
Oh, let's buy a
celebrity
selection.
here.
It's if I go to the Lego store, it happens. But also there are a lot of times where I'll go to a Lego store and nobody recognizes me, and I'm like super chill and just
humble.
in and out. So you never know. I think we just got lucky today. But yeah, so that's one of those things. And then I guess some of the other projects I work on is I run a venture capital fund called Nui Ventures, and I started it with one of my best friends, Sarisa, one of the smartest people that I know. I'm constantly in awe of him and what he does. But Nui is actually a Lego reference. Lego Bionicle had this character Mata Nui, which was the Great Spirit, and Nui in Polynesian just means great or vast. So that's kind of why we pulled together all those passion points into Nui Ventures, and we're an international venture fund that starts to do pre-seed investments, working together very closely with some of the change makers and entrepreneurs and founders out there in the world, operating on both a tech branch and a filmmaking branch, and really trying to combine the best of both worlds with entertainment and startups that are focused around making the world better.
So what kind of projects? You don't need to give names, but what kind of projects have you been investing in?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I like to say literally all I do is talk, in every job. That's my only role. That's the only thing I know how to do.
You can tell he's a yapper.
Yes, right. Yeah, just yapping over here.
A charismatic speaker.
Right. That's the way to put it. Yes, thank you. But no, I mean, it's really cool because we've got a chance to meet a ton of people. We actually executive produced a film that's coming out soon through Nui, so it's going to be really great. It's a very kind of artsy French new wave style, almost kind of harkening back to the older style of filmmaking, but it's kind of this psychological introspective character study. So I'm really excited for that film to come out.
And remind me, who is the mentor for the film director of this project?
That is a great question. I don't know if I can say yet, but
Okay.
there are some pretty interesting people involved. That's all I can say. Some names that you probably will recognize that are relevant, especially right now with some films coming out. So
Yeah.
very excited for that. But then
Okay.
also on film, we actually did an investment in my childhood hero and somebody who I've looked up to my whole life. His name is Christian Faber. He created Lego Star Wars. He created Lego Bionicle, Lego Technic. This logo is designed by him. Like he
Wow.
did like this logo, everything. Like
Wow.
he worked for Lego for years and years, but he kind of branched off and started his own sort of virtual production studio where he's revolutionizing how motion capture is done for previs animation for film. And we connected, became really good friends, and just kind of hit it off from there. So that's another one of the investments I'm really excited about. Of course, a lot of the tech ones are a little bit more in stealth right now, so I can't get into the details of the
Okay.
tech-focused ones, but the entertainment ones, obviously, they really like having a lot of press and publicity. So Copenhagen Rig, big fans of that.
Wait, so for the tech ones, is it like a specific industry that you're focused on, or in general?
We've made a lot of investments in AI database startups and startups that are really built to kind of improve people's lives and improve especially like collating data visualization, also kind of tied into something else that I'm working on. But honestly, we're open to really talking to anybody. We've been talking to people in the tech finance sector, people in the tech entertainment sector, kind of blending those two things. And so it really is just a matter of who do I meet? I love going to entrepreneurship events. I love meeting people at startup kind of incubators and startup founder gatherings. And I feel like you just connect with so many people there and you go from there.
That's incredible. So you've mentioned you're a Lego master, not an influencer, but that's just a hobby.
Right.
You have your main job. You have a venture,
Yes.
venture capital, and what are the other 2 to 3?
Yeah, well, one of the bigger ones that we've just been building out, and actually this is coming at the perfect time because next weekend this time we're going to be making the public announcement. So I'm sure by the time this video comes out, it will be public in certain circles, but you're getting the exclusive scoop right now. I've made this startup called Augur AI with a few of my friends. You've met some of my friends on the team, actually, my co-founders. And the four of us really tried to tackle this big problem of food waste in the industry and how some of the biggest food manufacturers overproduce food because they don't know how to track supply and demand. It's a funny story, but I was at this entrepreneurship event and I was sitting at a bar talking to this guy, and he was saying how basically he works at one of the world's biggest food manufacturing companies, and he was telling me about how they didn't have a centralized source of data, and all of these sources of knowledge were split up as tribal knowledge. And I turned to him and I said, honestly, that's ridiculous. Like, why are you still working here? I mean, it's like you're working at this big company, but I can't believe you don't have a source of data. And he said, well, I'm on the C-level suite. Do you have any ideas on how we can fix it? So I was like, oh my goodness, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I think I should have, because the next thing out of my mouth was, give me a month and probably I'll come up with some ideas. That month turned into over a year of discovery, interviewing, going physically on site to the farms, to the manufacturing plants, talking to as many people in the company as we could, showing that we could have the expertise to prove that we were the right people to solve this problem. And we just got our first big build contract last month, which is super exciting, and hopefully going to lead to 7 and 8 figure contracts even beyond this one from there. So we're super excited. We're pumped. We have a way that I think that we can revolutionize the way that they see and visualize data, and this is just phase 1.
Wait, sorry, but isn't this like usually like a normal, not even normal, an exceptional person's like full-time job period, like working on building an AI software startup for the world's biggest food manufacturing company? Period? Like one job here?
I think I'm incredibly lucky in that I meet so many people who are way smarter than me, like of course yourself. And I mean, I'm so impressed with stuff that you're doing as well, and how you're putting yourself out there. Seriously, no, I mean, how you're taking the leap to start this channel and to put yourself out there, to quit your job. And I mean, that's kind of what this is all about, right? I mean, you are the person that I look up to. I mean, I feel like you really are such a, like you took the risk and you're making it happen. So it's very impressive to me.
I mean, I can tell why people want to invest in him and like be friends with him. Like, how could you not love a person like this?
You are too kind.
Please subscribe and like
Yes.
and comment and
Like,
support
subscribe,
my cooking
comment,
journey.
interact,
Interact.
comment twice.
Thank you.
But no, I mean, I feel like I work with people who I'm just so in awe of and who are smarter than me. Just in the
Yeah.
next room over,
Yeah.
we have my chief engineer, Zach, and he's one of the top engineers that I know.
Yeah.
Came straight out of college, and before he was able to get snapped up by a big company, at the moment he graduated, I called him and I said, "Hey, Zach, I have a project, and look, this could go nowhere, and this might be all leading to us wasting a lot of time and not getting paid, but will you take the risk with me? Will you build this out for maybe no pay for a while, but just to prove that we have what it takes?" And he said, "Yeah, I believe in the mission, so yeah."
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm just so grateful that I am supported by such a rich team of individuals who come together. Really, Srisa and I kind of head up all of the ventures we do together, but underneath us, we have so many of my incredibly talented friends, Zach, and even my Lego Masters teammate, Robert. Having him on the kind of day-to-day PMing for this project gives me more time to pursue other things and try to think about, well, now that we have this one big client, how do we sassify? How do we grow bigger?
Chris is a messenger and a missionary of hope and dreams.
Oh, that is too kind.
To kids for Legos, to his fellow top engineers for building an empire, to me for starting a channel.
Please, I'm excited to see where you grow. I mean, in a year
Thank
from
you.
now, where are you going to
And
be?
for the C-suite executive for having a better database for his company, hopes and
That's the
dreams.
goal. Kingmakers.
So you had 1, 2, 3, 4 so far.
That's
Right?
right.
Okay, what are the other 2 cooking?
So I gotta say, one of them is pretty strictly in stealth mode right
Okay,
now. It
okay.
admittedly is probably the one that takes up the most time, but
Oh
can't
my
talk about it right now.
gosh.
Maybe in like a year or two, we'll see.
Okay.
But very excited about what we're cooking there. I'll tell you a little bit off camera about what
Okay.
that's a bit about.
Okay.
But other stuff, I mean, related to just the YouTube channel, I do a lot of just sales in general for Lego related things. So I run a 3D printing store where I make custom Lego compatible pieces, like in colors that people want, or specialized customized armor and masks for Lego Bionicle figures. So that's a big business, and I have my friend, actually, I kind of just am paying him to run it right now while I'm remote. So that kind of works out great.
And you own your 3D printers, is it?
I do. I mean, I love 3D printing. I've literally got the scars to prove it. Like, this is a 14-year-old Chris. I cut my finger right down the middle. Almost got this chopped off because I was just like being very reckless. But I mean, I was 3D printing from when I was a kid. And no, it was very fond memories of that. But
And HQ is in your childhood home in
yes,
Seattle?
it is. It is. So
That's
that's where it's located. I mean, in college, it was my college apartment. And when I move here permanently, I'll probably move the 3D printers, but maybe not all of them, because I've got like 5 or 6 printers. So I'll keep a print farm at home, and then maybe I'll just buy more printers while I'm here. But
So wherever Chris goes, there's a green screen, like
that's right,
100
right
Lego
there.
sets there, 100 Lego sets, and a 3D printer.
That's right.
how
Among
you
many
know.
other tools and just random things like a soldering iron. You always need that. I never know I might need it at some point. So
Of
yeah.
course, the
Yeah.
essentials of life.
Yes.
Wow, so those are the 6 things. So I'm curious, like, why did you decide to? I mean, it feels like you mentioned that like being a Lego master builder is just what you do for fun. So we don't consider that a job.
Yes.
The AI startup opportunity is kind of what you discovered.
Yes.
And the ventures you started on top of the AI? Like, what was the timeline for all these cooking?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, really, I feel like, honestly, the source of all of the things that I do in life kind of goes all the way back to just one thing, and that's the simple Lego brick. And I mean, hear me out. I think it really did spawn everything, because the timeline was that I fell in love with Lego because I felt that Lego was this tool that you could use to go out there in the world and solve whatever problem you wanted. And I mean, when I was 3, 4, 5 years old, that problem was, I want a spaceship and I don't have one. So what am I gonna do to make the tools, to use the tools I have to make that? But as I got older and older, I feel like that instilled this mindset in me of taking the ingredients that the world gives you and turning it into something that can affect change and to do something that solves a big problem. And I feel that finding pain points and identifying solutions is a big part of my life. When I was, I think, around 12 to 14 years old, I was making my first iPhone app. So I got into like Swift and C and iOS coding. And I'll never forget what one of the, most impactful professors in my life told me. She was my computer science teacher in middle school and high school. And she said, "You're making a lot of inventions, but when are you going to turn those inventions into innovations? And I had the question of, well, what's the difference? And she said, well, an invention is something cool. It's a cool piece of tech. It's a cool app. It's a cool build that you make, but it's not an innovation until you can convince one other person to spend money to buy it. And that was kind of the turning point for me that unlocked this whole other world of entrepreneurship. And I kind of applied to this startup competition when I was in, I think, at the beginning of high school, did really well in that. It actually got a lot of traction. Like Bill Gates tweeted about it and even had a lot of comments. And it was super cool, very surreal that that really
What was
blew
it
up.
called?
It was back then. It was IntelliSplash, or I think it was Intelli H2O was the original name. But it was a Bluetooth water purity tester because I traveled every year to the Kangemi slums of Nairobi, Kenya for service work, another thing that I really am passionate about. And I often got sick because of the water there. So I wanted to build this like small portable water purity tester to test it that was connected via Bluetooth to my phone. And it just kind of exploded from there. So I did a startup incubator in 2017. So between junior to senior year of high school, that's where I met my chief engineers and some of the people I still work with today, and went to the UPenn's M&T program, Management and Technology, to study entrepreneurial management and electrical engineering.
Oh, was the startup incubator thing that you built a startup for MIT Launch?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
I think it's called Launch X now, but when we attended it, it was still an MIT specific thing. And
Gotcha.
so cool. I mean,
Wow.
there's something so surreal about being in a room full of people who come from all sorts of different perspectives and
So
backgrounds,
incredible.
but also are united by this passion for entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So it started with a Lego brick.
It all did.
It
Yeah,
all did.
can trace it all back to that.
And so the timeline is, if I can say so, like just like put it together.
Yeah.
Lego influencer, or sorry, Lego master first, and then you probably got a job at Microsoft as a PM.
Yeah, I guess I'll give the brief
Okay.
TLDR overview of that. So,
TLDR.
intern at Microsoft in college, just got the job after that. Then, shortly after getting the job, Lego Masters reached out and asked if I wanted to be on the show because of my YouTube channel. My boss is also a Lego fan. Huge shout out. Really great guy and really supportive of everything that I do. And he said, yeah, I think we can make it work, that you can take a leave of absence to do this really once in a lifetime opportunity. So I filmed Lego Masters for 2 months, took a 2-month leave of absence, made it all the way to the finale and won. And then I did the startup kind of meetup, founder meetup and executive meetup, literally the week after I got back from Lego Masters. That's where I met the guy working at one of the world's biggest food manufacturers, had the idea for Augur, brought together my friends for Augur. Once we signed our big contract, then I used that money instead of saying, well, I could hold on to it, put it in savings, or I could just do something crazy with it. So I used the money from that startup contract to make new ventures with Srisa, which we started earlier this year. And then we've just been making investments ever since and having just money keep on building up. And then one thing leads to another.
Wow.
A person that we met on the set of the film that we were executive producing in is now someone I work with closely on that secret venture we're working on. And I feel like it's just who you meet.
Gotcha. So all of this happened, it sounds like, since 2022 to now, early this year. So
Pretty much,
2 years.
yeah. I mean, Augur was last year, so 2023 May was when Augur started. Nui was January 24, and this new venture thing that's kind of in stealth right now was, we were talking about it since we met him, and
Yeah.
I think it was when we were filming the movie in May, it must have been. Yeah, I think it was around May we were filming that movie. Augur was 2022 May, so yeah, I guess it's been 2 years since then. And then Nui was beginning of this year, and then this new venture is like March, April, May, and it just keeps on building.
The things you can achieve in 2 years.
I can't wait to see what you achieve in 2 years.
That-
I mean,
that's
you quit your job 2 weeks ago, right?
That is true.
A week ago?
A week ago.
Oh my goodness, time
Yeah,
really
it
flies. I
does
feel like
fly.
we've been doing so much stuff together.
I
It's like, oh, I feel like
know,
it's been
right?
so much time, but
Wow.
yeah.
But I think what's incredible is that you don't constrain, like, what I really admire about you is that your thinking is not like limited or like scarcity minded. You're always like abundantly thinking, and even if you had like a contract, you might think, oh, I need to like save it, or I need to use this for some, like, like later in the future,
Sure.
when I'm like bigger, when I'm an adult. But
Yes.
I'll immediately ran with that money to invest in the next thing. And I think that's how you really grow and create opportunities and live such a huge, like, full, prosperous, like, colorful life like yours. That's what I really
That's the
think
hope.
is-
I always think there's more to grow, though.
Yeah.
There's always something that you can do that's more.
So why did you decide to keep your job at Microsoft? Like, it's kind of clear, like, Lego is your passion.
Yes.
The startup is what you wanted to do
Yeah.
because it's a problem solving. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, you see a problem, you gotta fix it,
Yeah.
right? The ventures is what you're doing because you wanted to like help empower other people, right?
Yeah.
And the other two things, one I don't really know the nature of, but the other is like a kind of an offspring business of Lego. Like, why do you keep the Microsoft job? Like, what is the purpose of having a normal day-to-day job if you already have all of these things going on in your life to
Yeah.
make such a packed life?
That's a really good question. And honestly, I'm a pretty big advocate of trying to at least have the corporate experience so you know what it's like. And I definitely would recommend for even people who, I mean, a lot of my friends are entrepreneurs and straight out of college, they just made startups and went from there. And I think it's really amazing. They've been really successful. But I also do think there is value in having the corporate experience of how does life work at a company like this? How is it like to actually be like a cog in the machine and to kind of affect change in that way and see what you can do in the best way possible? I mean, I feel like it is a very,
That is
very
true.
good
I
experience to
think
try to
so.
build that out. Now, why do I stay in Microsoft? I love my team. I love what I do. And to be honest, Microsoft is like, it's like an 8 to 5 job. So it's a job that I work on in the day, and I dedicate all of myself to that when I'm having meetings, when I'm in the office, when I'm actually working on it. That's what I focus on, and that's my
Also,
job.
because he owes Bill one.
Oh
You'll
yes,
feed
right,
him.
right, yeah, yeah. No, no, I do. I'm working for free here, just for that mention. No, but I really do genuinely like. I love my team, and I feel like I've made a lot of connections there, and I really enjoy what I do there. And being a product manager at a big company is very different than being a PM at a startup. And I feel like I want to keep having that experience to make myself as good of a PM as possible. I have like so many failures. Like I always like to say, failure is the greatest teacher. That's what Yoda says. And I do genuinely believe that. I feel like you have to experience failure to know, to learn, and to grow. And I feel like at Microsoft, I'm surrounded by people who've been at the company for 10 years, for 20 years, who are experts in their field, and I can just watch them work and learn from them because the more I can learn from my peers, the better I'm going to be at doing my own stuff and working at that job. So I feel like it's a really great educational opportunity for me. And also, just to be completely honest, it is a really nice and stable job. I think there's a lot of variability in a lot of the other things I'm doing. I mean, new ventures, for all I know, I could just be throwing away my money and I'll never see it again. But that's all about taking risks. And I feel like mitigating risks, this is one way that I use to also mitigate risks by having this stable job that I actually just got promoted in. So now I'm like really trying to build myself up in that job as well and
You
go from
are.
there. Yeah.
So you're not stopping. You're not slowing down.
Oh,
You're going
never.
all in.
Yeah, all in. All
And
into
you're
everything.
into everything. Gosh. So walk me through a normal day of Chris Lee.
Right.
Like, first of all, how many hours do you get sleep? You kind of mentioned that you slept 3 hours last night and that was a lot for him.
Well, it was more than the night before, which was 2. It was more.
And he has so much energy.
Well, I mean, we just went to the Lego store. Of course I have energy. Like, I'm like itching to rip these boxes open and start building. I mean, it's...
You're
um,
incredible.
no,
So,
I do
yeah.
think that is one of the bigger problems I have. I think that I don't get enough sleep. I know that about myself, and I'm trying to fix that. But I also think that we're at the age now that we can afford to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I think my time to be able to pull all-nighters is limited. Like, I pulled an all-nighter the other week, and I was, like, tired. And I was sitting there like, why am I so tired after this? Because in college, we did 3 in a row one time for a hackathon, just no sleep at all, just boom, 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 boom. And I was like, I could do it. It was fine. But even just a couple of years post-college, like I graduated in 2022, I was sitting there like, I don't know, I'm getting too old for this. Like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So it definitely is something I want to maximize while I'm young and kind of have that energy. And I feel like that's why a lot of my focus right now is try to get the best life for myself and for my future kids and my future family, because that's what's really important to me in the long term. So spending the time now, investing the time, investing the hours is really important.
And so specifically, like, what are you trying to build towards for your future family and future kids?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things. And I think personally for myself, just a very selfish thing that I want is I want to open up a Lego themed brick museum. And part of that is because I love it when people either watch my videos or I meet fans of the channel and they
Yeah.
say, I got really passionate about this because of your video, or I got back into Lego because of this, and now I'm thinking creatively, and I want to instill that sense of creativity in others. I feel like that's what I want to be remembered for.
Yeah.
So having a museum, my goal for that is that I've looked at the financials of a Lego themed museum. I think there are ways that it could work, that it could make money. But I want to be in a spot in life that I can literally lose money on it every single day and be like, this is fine. I will pay to keep this open. Even if like I am losing money like on rent, on keeping it open, on security, I don't care. Like I will keep it open and that's what I want to do. So I want to be in a position where I can afford to do that. And I think that because of that, I need to
Yeah.
build up a lot of different ventures to continually just keep earning more. And I want to be able to give back to, I mean, of course, my future family and especially my kids. I want my kids to have as best of a life as possible, as best of a childhood as possible, but to also grow up being hungry to make change and being hungry to be entrepreneurs and go through that and have the opportunities and not have money be a problem for them to pursue their dreams. So that's really important to me. And I also want to like give back to my friends. Like I know a lot of my friends have these big dreams and I want to help them make it happen. Like I want to be the kind of person that brings people together and helps people realize their dreams.
That's so, yeah, like that's so kind and generous and giving and thoughtful of you, I think. Um, so going back to like, in order to make that happen, you're sacrificing some sleep.
Yes.
What does a day look like for you? Like you get up at what time?
Yes. To be honest, I don't think there is a normal day because I live
Yeah.
a very abnormal life, I feel. But if I had to pick like my most mundane, like average day, no like nothing crazy going on. There usually is something crazy going on or something fun.
Let's throw in the
But
craziness.
okay, well I think well
If that
usually
depicts your life.
what I do is I try to get up at like 6, 7 a.m. And now that I'm here on the East Coast, I can actually push it a little bit later than that because my work meetings don't start until PST hours. What I love to do is in the morning, I love to swim and I love to exercise. And I feel like keeping healthy and exercising is actually really, really important to have the energy throughout the day. So I go to the gym and I try to swim on a regular basis. Usually like every other day I try to swim or I just do weights like in the morning. But after that, I shower and I feel like I'm so awake and ready to go. Like I'm so involved like for the day. And then I have my first meetings at Microsoft because while I'm here in New York, a lot of my Pacific time zone hours start like my first meeting at the earliest is maybe going to be like 10 and that's 7 a.m. PST. So that's like an abnormal day for it to start at 7. Usually we start at 8, so 11. So that's actually a good chunk of time in the morning where if I even have time after exercising, then I'll work on some videos. I'll record some videos while I'm really energetic and build some Lego and work on my startup maybe. But I work on Microsoft meetings throughout the day, and in between meetings, if I'm not doing other work, like sometimes there's decks to make or documents to write out, but if I literally just happen to have not much to do with Microsoft that day, if I have 30 minutes between meetings, that's a 30-minute recording time. I can record a review for 30 minutes, done. That's another video right then and there. And so I really just try to have a backlog of videos out so I have like at any given point at least a year's worth of videos. So like if I die tomorrow, DuckBricks will live on. It will live on past all of our deaths is the idea. So that's the idea. And then, I mean, I love meeting people. I love talking to people. So I try to, especially when I'm in the city, go out and have dinner with somebody every single night. And sometimes that is a big group gathering where we have like 10 people around and it's a big group thing, or sometimes it's just a one-on-one, like get to know someone a little bit better. And I try to have a different dinner every night, and then we have bi-weekly calls for August. So we have 9 p.m. on Monday, 10 p.m. on Thursdays. So I'm always making sure I'm back, I'm grounded, I'm very like ready to work then. And from there we do a lot of investments internationally for Nui. So Srisa gets off work at Jane Street at around 2 or 3 a.m. So that's when our
AM?
work, unfortunately for him, he is probably the only person I know that works harder than me because he gets to the office at 6. So he,
AM?
yes,
And he gets off at 2
2 or
a.m.?
3, yes, because he does a lot of he's actually the world's largest sugar trader by volume. So he's pretty crazy and he works hard. But then when he gets back at like 2, 3, he maybe does like a 45-minute nap, and then we start our Nui meetings then, and we just really really dive deep every single day. We try to kind of talk about like, okay, what are the companies that we talked to this week? We try to talk to literally up to like 5 to 10 companies a week and say, how are we feeling in them? How do we feel about the founders? Do we feel like there's a fit? Do we like the culture? Do we like the product? Do we like the tech? Where are we going to allocate our money? Because we are answering to LPs and we're answering to people who invested in us because we have raised money for Nui. So it's a big endeavor there.
How long is your meeting with Nui usually?
Anywhere between an hour to 3 hours. Last night it was a little bit longer, so last night was 3, but usually shorter.
So if Teresa has work at 6 a.m. and you
Yes.
have swimming at 6 a.m., but
Yes.
the meeting starts at 3 a.m. because he
Yes.
gets off at work at 3 a.m.
Yes.
Does he like literally not sleep?
I don't know when he sleeps. I genuinely, you should interview him because I do not know, like, I don't have like a sense of what his life looks like because I've got his location. I know he's in the office at 6. I also know that he was on the phone with me that like from 3 to 6,
Oh
and he
my
also got home at
God.
like 2:30. So I genuinely do not know when he sleeps. I'm very
That's
confused.
concerning.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Okay,
genuinely
next
don't know.
episode with Teresa.
Yeah, next episode, get Teresa. Although he's so busy, I don't even know if he would be
I don't
able to
think
sit
he has
down for
time
more
to.
than 10 minutes. But no, you can
Wow.
corner him at our party, and then you can get the interview then.
Okay.
Bring the microphones, of course. But no, incredibly, incredibly talented guy, and I really do look up to Teresa because he's one of the smartest people I know. He literally, I mean, the way his mind works, the way
Yeah.
he sees data, the way he sees the market is just, it's almost superhuman the way I see him. He's so smart. He's literally, he quadruple majored. He did math. He did what else did he do? He did math. He did finance. He did the data. I think it was um, data sciences, and he did computer science. So he did 4 majors.
Majors?
Yeah,
Not
and
even
math
like
masters.
masters?
Yes.
Like so not even like concentration or
No,
minor that
no, 4
stuff.
majors and the math masters in 4 years. So I don't even. This
Wow,
guy's
he is a superhuman.
insane. I'm so lucky that he's like that.
Good
He's
co-founder.
willing to work with me, and I mean we do so much stuff together.
Yeah.
So, I mean we make time to
Equal.
travel as well. So we
Yeah.
go to like we do cruises in Singapore, and we went to Japan a few months ago, and then Denmark.
That's when he
although
sleeps. In the
that is when he
cruise.
sleeps. Yes, yes. Although I mean looking back, I'm still not convinced because
That
we were doing stuff all the time. I mean, last trip we did in Denmark, we went there for investing, but we were working with the company we were investing in during the day. But the way Denmark works is the nightclubs are open from 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. And I was like, I love this place. So we were just going out every night, and I don't think we slept for 3 days because it was a 3-day weekend trip, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we flew back Tuesday early morning, and I was in Microsoft Office on Tuesday morning. So it was 3 days just, and I don't think we slept once.
Do you drink like caffeine at all?
No, I actually specifically don't because I know I'll get
thought
addicted.
So like how do you get the energy from? Just pure dopamine?
I think it's like,
Serotonin, oxytocin?
if you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like
That is
work.
true.
Like I
That is true.
genuinely feel passionate about everything I do. So it's like
I
I
can
have
tell.
energy through that.
Wow. So just to wrap up, you have like 6 a.m. swim and then brief work meetings and then in between Lego and then at night you hang out with your friends so
Yeah.
you don't compromise on social life.
No, absolutely
then-
not. I have to do something social every day, otherwise I'm gonna die.
And then you have a meeting for Augur and then you
Yes.
have a meeting for NUI.
Yes, but if I'm
Venture
very lucky, I can
University.
take a nap in between. So like sometimes if I finish the auger meeting at midnight, then I'll sleep until like 3, and then I'll call Sarisa, and then we just like go from there.
I mean, he has like 6 jobs, and if you don't need to quit your main job,
It's doable. It's manageable for now. For now, I don't know. I mean, I might putter out tomorrow. We'll
I
see.
think this
But
is so inspiring. I think this is like exactly showing why we all are given the same 24 hours. You can use that same time to have 6 jobs and like run 6 businesses or
I will say though, like my amount of sleep is like I don't advocate for that. Like it is
Okay.
it is unhealthy. Like folks at home, do not try this at home. Like there are days where I will just crash like on a Saturday or something or a Sunday. I literally will sleep the entire day, and that's kind of like my reset. And I do that I think once a month where I'm just like I'm literally
Reset.
unconscious, and then I reset and then I'm like, okay, ready to go. What's next? But I mean, I wouldn't recommend. I think like a healthy amount of sleep is
Yeah.
like maybe 5 to 6 hours. So, like try to get that at least.
Well, the usual recommended amount of sleep
Oh, it's
I
8, right?
is 8 hours.
Okay, 8. That's right. 8 hours.
But
8
that's
hours. 8 hours.
indulgent,
Yes,
right?
yes. I can't remember the last time I slept for eight
Are you
hours.
serious? Maybe when you were
No,
like 2 years old.
probably.
Wait, so let me pull up my questions
Sure.
real quick. Um, um, Tell me, like, where I know that you're quite a jet setter, travel
Right.
lover, if you
Yes.
will.
Oh, avid
Where
traveler.
where have you been in the past month?
Honestly, I feel like the question might be more where haven't I been?
Where haven't you been?
I guess, well, I think there's place on my bucket list. I want to go to Antarctica because that's one of the places I haven't been
Okay, so
to.
basically, except for extreme countries and climates, he's been everywhere. But where have you been last month? Like, where are your
Yes.
main like travel destinations
So
usually?
I love Europe. I go to Europe. Well, I guess Asia as well. Europe and Asia all the time.
Hmm.
And so I actually have a trip coming up. I'm super excited with my friends, some other Lego YouTubers and influencers. You'll meet them next week at the dinner. But I am showing them around Europe because one of them it's their first time in Europe, and the other one it's like only a second time. But I was going to Europe 2 times a year since I was 1 year old with with my parents because they love Europe and they love travel. So I like literally I don't think there's a place in Europe I haven't been to. So I just like
Wow.
we have this whole itinerary. I have a whole group of friends who live in Italy, so my friend Laura is going to show us around like her hometown in Italy, and we're going to hang out with her friends. And that's going to be a ton of fun. And we're going to go to like Switzerland and Germany, North and South Germany for Lego stuff, and then Denmark, of course, for Lego, and then Austria for some really
Billund,
cool ice
Denmark.
skates. Bill in Denmark, that's
Uh-huh.
right.
Lego
Um,
HQ.
so that's going to be fun. And we were just in Copenhagen, Denmark for the Nui stuff just a few
Right.
months ago.
And that's for your venture arm or
That's
the
right. Well, that's the entertainment
gotcha,
side of the
gotcha,
venture arm. But yeah,
gotcha.
and I guess I mean we try to make time for at least like a week of vacation a year. That's really the goal. Like a week where literally we're just on vacation.
Hmm.
We say that, but then also like Teresa and I went to Japan for a week, and we spent 99% of the time on the phone with the movie director trying to figure out the investment and the producing thing. So we were on vacation, but we weren't. And Seoul, I love Seoul,
Mm.
Korea. So of course, and we actually went to Seoul as part of that trip. So we were like Tokyo and Kyoto and then Seoul, and I showed them all around Seoul, Lotte World, and
Mm.
of course we went to Dongdaemun Market, the
Mm.
clothes and Lego shopping. Oh,
Dongdaemun.
Nandaemun.
But actually, both. Dongdaemun also
Both,
has
yeah, I think
both.
both because we went to both, but I showed him around
Mm.
both, and then I mean I love Korea, I love Korean food, so
It is
big
very
big
cute.
fan. I mean I love eating. That's another big core competency of mine. I will try a new meal every day, and it's just yeah all around the world. Singapore I
So great.
love, a lot of family in Singapore, so visited that with Srisa. We went on a cruise there, like Malaysia, Thailand,
Yeah.
and actually, every single weekend since January this year, all the way up until I came to New York, I was in a different place in the US doing a
Uh-huh.
meet and greet, signing event, or panel for a Lego event. So I did one literally every weekend. So it was like Utah, Chicago, New York, Wisconsin. Where else did we go? A lot of places in California, Oregon, just you name it. I
Oh
was
my
somewhere
god.
different.
It's
Even Canada, actually.
and you so every weekend you go and then you fly back in and Lego flies you out.
For a lot of them, yeah.
Wow. And
Actually, for all of them, yeah.
do you not have like jet lagging issues or adjusting back to
Nah,
hometown?
nah, nah. The trick is with jet
Uh-huh.
lag. Okay, this is actually like
Okay.
cracked tip. No matter what you want to do, like no matter what you're passionate about, if you're worried about jet lag, don't sleep. Okay, so hold on. Let me
Already,
continue.
you know.
Don't sleep like on the way. Okay, so let's say you're going to Asia, right? If
Okay.
there's a big turnover, don't sleep on the plane, and you get in the morning, and even if your whole body wants you to sleep, do something you're passionate about. When I went to Japan, the first thing I did, I went straight to Legoland Japan. I spent half the day there, and I spent the other half of the day going around Lego shopping and visiting every Lego store, and that was like a video. And I like that gave me so much energy. I
Yeah.
didn't feel tired at all. So then you've built up basically a day and a night of not sleeping. So when it's time to sleep, to adjust, you can like at 9 or 10 p.m., you
Uh-huh.
can hit the bed and you are passed out, and then
Uh-huh.
you're adjusted. That's it. Like you can get over your jet lag in a day, just like that. Just do
Usually,
something you love.
isn't the advice usually to sleep entirely during the flight? Like, don't sleep the day before you travel in your hometown. Sleep during the flight. and then go on with a refreshed day mood in the new
Probably.
country.
No, but like on the flight, you can like work. Like you can do like video work. I mean, like why sleep when you
Mm,
can like be working on that?
right. But I mean, why sleep at all
And the
if you can
meals,
ever?
and the meals on the flight. You can't miss the meals. I
That
mean, if
is
you
true.
sleep through all the meals, like that's part of the fun.
This
Like if
is
you
true.
fly like
I have
yeah.
missed many nice meals
Yeah.
because of sleep.
Mhm.
Anyways, wow, crazy. I think so. The shots that I wanted to get is like you saying, I am an ABCDEF. Like I work. You told me like how
Sure,
many
sure. I
hours
can
you
say it in
work.
one sentence. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's great. And then I'm gonna say, and you said I didn't quit my job to do this,
Yes.
and then I'll be like, find out the answer. Do you think he quit his job or not?
Sure.
Alrighty, so the things to hit are like what you do in like quick one sentence.
Yep.
How many hours you work, I guess. Like how many hours you sleep.
Yes.
And the countries part I think we got. I can
Yes.
just fast forward that. And then like last sentence is I didn't quit my job. And then
Cool.
it's like guess if he quit his job. Yeah, guess if he
Yes.
is in his job or not.
Want me to say it?
Okay, let's do it.
Cool. Hey there, I'm Chris, aka DuckBricks, and I am a PM at Microsoft. I am a startup co-founder with an AI data startup called Augur. I am an executive producer for films. I am a venture capitalist for my VC firm, Nui Ventures. I do a lot of M&A deals on the side and some other fun stuff. I do a 3D printing business. I'm an auctioneer, a live auctioneer for Lego. And I am just a born entrepreneur, and I just love what I do.
Born entrepreneur. Crazy.
And then the next thing you said, I didn't
is-
quit my job to do this.
Yeah. I think you could say you said that you have like Microsoft, you work as a Microsoft PM.
Yes.
So isn't that kind of giving away that that's your main job? I don't know. Or could it be implying?
Oh, sorry. Is that supposed to be a secret?
I think I don't know. I'm trying
Or
to think.
what's the premise of the
Because
video?
I want you to. So in the short, I want people to guess if you quit your job or not.
Mhm.
Like to do all of this, and then in the main video, like obviously you're gonna say everything. So I'm trying to think like in the short form, what would be a fun way for people to guess? You have all the hints, like you don't sleep, like you do all these things, you have all
Okay.
the time, you have
Okay.
these
Then
ventures.
for short form, did you want to record vertical for the short?
I think I could crop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you want me to not say what I do?
I don't know. Like, what do you think it makes sense to say? Like, just have all the hints, but not without necessarily, because being a PM at Microsoft is what you do as well.
Mhm.
But I don't. That kind of gives away that you didn't quit your job, right? Unless it's in the contract form. Do you think people would know?
So you're trying to have people guess if I quit my
Yeah.
job?
Yeah.
Maybe I say everything else I do, and I work at it, and
And
I
I'm
do
a
some.
project manager.
well, and I say and I have / had a corporate job, but do I still have it?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me do it. Hey there, I'm Chris, aka DuckBricks, and I run the Lego-themed DuckBricks YouTube channel, putting out a video a day. I'm an AI data startup co-founder for my startup Augur AI, working with the world's biggest food manufacturer to cut down on food waste. I'm a VC, and I invest in all sorts of exciting companies, and through that, I'm an executive producer on some upcoming films. And I work a corporate job, or at least maybe I did work. Maybe I want to rephrase it. Sorry, can I say that one more time?
Of course.
Okay.
Please.
And I might have a corporate job,
I have / have.
and I've had a corporate job, but did I quit? Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna say. Okay. Hey, I'm Chris, aka DuckBricks, and I run the Lego-themed DuckBricks YouTube channel, putting out one video every single day. I also run an AI data-focused startup working with one of the world's largest food manufacturers to cut down on food waste. I'm a VC investing in all sorts of exciting new ventures, and through that, I also executive produce some brand new films. I'm a live auctioneer, I run a 3D printing store, and I've worked a major corporate job. But do I still have it?
Well, find out through the long form video and comment down below what you think. Do you think he has... Comment down below what you think. Do you think he still has his corporate job, or did he quit it to travel all these places and do all these things?
That's right. Find out now.
That's so fun.
Think that was good?
I think that was great.
Cool.